Welcome to a new episode of The Ghost Incorporated. We are glad to bring to you a very special guest, Ranjana. Ranjana is a true feminist, for she is a woman who is more than another woman and a man together. She is very special to me, for we are school friends and have remained in touch, although for years together we have lived in different cities. Today, Ranjana will take us back to her childhood experiences with the paranormal or maybe even the preternatural, and will talk about how it affected her and her family. Welcome to our show, Ranjana.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Ghost Incorporated, for inviting me on your show. And today I'm going to share something which I've always hidden within myself because I was very scared and I didn't want this to get out of my mind. Maybe I had buried it somewhere in my thoughts because paranormal or ghost, all these things scare me to death. But I faced, or rather, I had an experience in my family when I was a very young kid. Maybe I was just 7 or 8 years old, way back in 1973. And we lived in quarter number 2, Taylor Road in Patna. And it was a big joint family. We we were many uncles, aunts, all living together with my grandparents. My grandfather was a judge in Patna High Court, and he was allotted a huge bungalow on Taylor Road. So we all lived together, and it was one happy family, large happy family. But one incident broke my family, and that was way back in 1973, when one of my uncles, he felt uneasy with his health. He was having pain in the body and he complained of it. And very soon he was hospitalized. So this was something very unnatural in my family because everybody was very hale and hearty and nobody ever thought that something drastically wrong is going to happen in my family. And within a month of my uncle being admitted in Kurji Hospital, he passed away. He was just 26 years old, and I was a kid. And of course, all my cousins and all were also pretty young. So we were all very badly affected by this death of my uncle. His marriage was just 1 year old. My aunt was also very young. And of course, it was my entire family was completely devastated with this.
Ranjana, before you proceed,
Mhm.
I would like you to recall the marriage of your uncle. What was it like? What do you remember?
Um, m- my uncle got married in 1973, and he was an engineer, and his wife was very pretty, very small, petite lady from Dhanbad. My aunt was a very loving person, and they had a very happy married life, and they had hardly tasted, the happiness of marriage before this happened.
So, and young children, they always become very attached to beautiful young brides joining the family. The same must have happened to you.
Oh, definitely. My aunt, in fact, we were so enamored by her. She was a tiny lady, not more than 5 feet 1 inch, and she had very long hair, beautiful hair she had. So we all kids, we were about six of us in the family, six kids, and we all admired her hair. And especially on Sundays when she used to shampoo her hair. She used to keep it open and we really admired her a lot. She looked very, very beautiful. And my uncle, also for that matter, he was uh, a very loving uncle. In fact, he used to get our homework done. So we were very attached with him. After coming back from office, he would inquire from all the kids whether we have done our finished our homework or not, and how are we doing in school. So we were very attached with my uncle and my aunt also, because she was also a very loving person.
So you talked about this bungalow that you lived in. So can you describe what kind of a bungalow it was? And you said that it was the quarters of a high court judge. So, so what kind of a setting was it?
These are judges' bungalows, and this is mainly these bungalows are near the Governor House, and these are huge bungalows with many rooms and huge rooms with fireplace and all. So these bungalows are in 3 acres, 4 acres, and the servant quarters are there, not one or two, but many servant rooms were there. And we had to walk a good distance of maybe 200 steps before we could reach the servant quarters. And of course, there were many huge trees and very old trees, maybe 100 years old, maybe 150 years old. So they were real thick and long trees, which post evening would become so scary that we kids would never dare to step out of these bungalows. It was so scary for us.
Okay, but you did have a lot of ground to play in, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely. As I said, that this bungalow was in about 3 acres, and there were about three lawns, huge lawns on
Hmm.
either side of the driveway, and there was another lawn, oval shaped, which was right in front of the bungalow. So rarely do you get to see bungalows with so many lawns.
Right.
And then even in the backyard, we used to grow vegetables, grains. It was that huge. So we really enjoyed. In fact, I learned my cycling there itself in that bungalow.
Ranjana, when did this bungalow become from a heaven to an hellish experience for you?
Actually, 1973, my uncle got married. And soon after that, I think it was year, I don't remember exactly, but it was sometime in 1974, May onwards, I think. He complained of uneasiness, not having his health up to the mark. And within a week, I think, after all the preliminary tests were done, he was admitted in Kochi Hospital. And within no time, that is, maybe he was admitted for about 20 days, and there was no diagnosis as such at
मतलब
that
कुछ
time.
डायग्नोसिस ही नहीं हो पाया.
No, not at all.
हल
Nothing. There was no diagnosis. And he just passed away within 20 days of his complaint. So that was very shocking for the entire family.
बिल्कुल, I'm sure it must have been.
Yes, yes. For
What?
one, he was very young, very, very
Mhm.
young. He was just 26 years old. And the other thing was that before the family could understand what is wrong, and before the family could take any action, maybe, my grandfather would have taken him to Delhi for better treatment. Before anything could happen, he had already passed away. So
And
the
what?
family could do nothing for him.
And what must have been the condition of the young bride? I mean, your aunt.
Oh, she was completely devastated. I remember when it was my father who went to break the news to my aunt that my uncle is no more. And I remember that scene so vividly, I still remember it. She just held on to my father, and my father was wearing a kurta, malmal kurta. And that kurta, she held on to my father's kurta and she, started slipping downwards. And that scene, and I still cannot forget that scene. Full of agony, full of pain. If I, as a child, can feel so much of pain, even now, I don't
Believe
know
me, I
what
can
the
also feel the pain actually. It-
yeah,
I mean, we only see such things in movies, but actually,
right. That is true. Because after that, my aunt was no longer that same aunt that, we had uh, seen her in that 1 year of her married time. Or, she was such a happy go lucky person, full of life. Uh, she was very fond of saris, makeup, jewelry, everything. And she
Mhm.
had to give up everything. So that was really, really sad. Not that anybody told her to do so, but then maybe she didn't want to dress up because she was dressing up for somebody who was no longer there. So she didn't want to dress up anymore. And she started wearing all the light color saris, no makeup, nothing, no jewelry. So we as kids, we used to see her and feel bad about it. I was too young, I did not understand much about it. I still remember as a kid, I just asked my cousin, डेथ का क्या मतलब होता है, लोग क्यों इतना रो रहे हैं घर में? I didn't understand the situation at that point of time. So
You
then
probably
my
didn't
cousin,
know that death is so definite.
yeah, so definite. So
Hmm.
my cousin explained it to me that death means that that person will never ever come back.
But
So yeah, so
is
it was
that what happened, or did something else happen?
um that time it appeared like this, but later on, after things had settled down a little bit in the family, that my grandmother discovered that there were a whole lot of servants in the backyard in the servant quarters. So there were about 10, 12 rooms for the servants. So in one of the rooms there was a sweepress who used to clean our toilets every day.
Hmm.
He had planted two nails in one of the trees.
Okay.
So that was very intriguing for the whole family. So when my grandmother started following it up, then somebody from the servant quarter informed my grandmother that this is what she does. And whenever she has to take somebody's life, she plants one nail in the tree.
And this was a specific tree.
Yeah, this was a specific tree, and there were other nails also there in the tree.
Oh God.
Yeah. So this was quite a revelation for my grandmother. And because my grandmother was from the village, she understood that something drastically wrong is there. And maybe she's trying to do something, which is paranormal, which we do not understand. So immediately my grandfather was informed about it. And my grandfather decided to change his bungalow from 2 Taylor Road to 14 Bailey Road. And within 10, 20 days, when the bungalow was, another bungalow was allotted to him on Bailey Road, that is 14 Bailey Road, we shifted to the new one. But this is what had happened, and this was so very disturbing for the whole family that we couldn't just get over it. We can't get over it even now whenever I think about it in detail.
So your aunt also moved with you all?
Yes, the entire family. We left that bungalow, and from 2 Taylor Road, we shifted to 14 Bailey Road. This was a huge bungalow again, much bigger than the previous one. But at least here we were comfortable. And my aunt was given a choice to choose the room. She was given the first choice. So she chose a room which was right in the center of the bungalow, which had a huge fireplace, which had a huge toilet attached to the room, and there was a balcony to it. So she chose the best room, and because she was very young then, and we were quite a few kids, so we kids had to take turns to sleep with her during the night.
Okay.
Yeah. So every night, one kid would go and sleep with her so that she would feel secure and safe. So one night, my turn came and I went to sleep with her. And those days, we used to use nets.
Yeah,
Because
mosquito
there were so
nets.
many,
Yeah. Hmm.
for the mosquitoes. So we used to use nets. So I got into the bed, and I think I was not awake. I was asleep. But then, I went to the washroom, came back, again went into the bed, and then as I kept my hand near the pillow, I felt that my hand went over somebody else's hand.
What do you mean?
I felt somebody's hand was already there near my pillow.
Your aunts?
No, not my aunt. She was far away from me. It was a
Hmm.
huge bed, and she was a very petite lady sleeping on one corner of the bed. I was in the other corner. I don't know whose hand it was, but it was, nobody can say that I was hallucinating. I was too young to hallucinate. But I felt that maybe that was the side on which my uncle used to sleep. He died very young. So maybe it was his hand because his soul was not at peace. And I felt that my hand touched his hand. I still have that feeling that it was something very unnatural that happened that night. And immediately I pulled back my hand, thinking that, what have I touched? Whose hand is it?
Were you
Even
scared?
I was very scared. I got goosebumps. I immediately got up, and those days we used to have those switches near the bed where we
Yes,
could switch on
bedside
the
switches. Yes.
bedside switches. I immediately switched it on, and there was nothing near my pillow.
And your aunt was asleep.
She was fast asleep. She was fast asleep. So it was so scary for me that, till today I get goosebumps anytime I think about it. And the next day, when I discussed this with my mother, I'm still very close to my mother, and I used to share all my secrets with my mother. And I told my mother that this is what I experienced last night. Then she said that every night, maybe my aunt had shared it with my mother, so she just narrated it to me, that every night at 4 o'clock in the morning, my aunt used to feel that my uncle comes to the room and he talks to her. And she would start shivering. Even if she was in her deep sleep, she would start shivering. Maybe this was the same time, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, that my hand went near my pillow and I touched his hand. Maybe that was the side, that was his side on which I was sleeping. Maybe I was encroaching upon his area. I really do not know what it was, but it was definitely very, very scary.
Ranjana, but the family had changed the bungalow. So it's not as so. You mean to say that his unfulfilled desires or wishes, they followed the family to the next bungalow? Do you
Yeah,
feel that way?
yes, definitely. This is what I feel. And the
Okay.
family also feels it like that.
And for how long do you think this continued?
This continued for about 2 years when finally my aunt decided to move to her parents' place. Her parents were in Dhanbad,
Hmm.
and my aunt's father was an MLA in Dhanbad. So she decided to shift there, and she stayed with her parents for a long time, for I think about 10 years. She did her BA, then she joined teaching, and that
Okay.
is how her life carried on.
So I'm so glad that she found a new direction to her life, and which necessarily was not marriage, because people think that being married is the end all of all women. But Ranjana, if you remember, this is a story that I'm not hearing for the first time, but of course, many of the details were a little muffled in my head. Do you
Mhm.
recall a night that we were studying together
Yes,
in my
at
bedroom?
your place, at your place.
Yes,
Yes.
and something happened. And do you think that was, maybe over imaginative minds of, we were how old, 16, 17, and we were taking a class 12s, and
Yes.
I mean, it's something eerie happened. Do you recall that and how it affected us?
Little bit of it, definitely. I remember. I think we were sleeping on the same bed.
Yes, we were sleeping on the same bed, yes,
Same
and
bed, and
and
it
the
was must have
mattress
been around
began
10
rising.
o'clock in the night.
No, it was, I think, still later because we were doing late night
And the
study.
swelling up
Yes,
in between, and then we got so scared we kept something over it
we
to
kept,
suppress that
yes, we
to
kept all the
suppress that
books.
bulge, all the
Yes,
books. And then
and
it was a
also,
winter night, winter
yes,
night.
absolutely. Before our pre-boards, and we just snuck into the blankets and tried, and the
Yes,
lights were on.
yes,
Until date, actually, I do not have an explanation. How could the mattress suddenly bulge up in that space? And you,
mhm,
Ranjana, I don't know if you recall, you thought that perhaps something was following you as well. I do.
yes, sure.
So,
So that
how do you
that
look at
that
it as an adult?
see, as an adult, as a kid, when I see it, I had no explanation then. Even as an adult, when I see it, I still do not have any explanation because these are things which happens, you see, but then you cannot explain it. It
Very true.
definitely,
But
yeah,
there must be some logical explanation. People who are non believers will come up with their own explanations. And people who believe in the other life will have their own way of looking at it. Right?
yeah, definitely. I feel there are souls, uh, and especially people, those who die very young,
Hmm.
their desires are not fulfilled, and they remain on earth. They remain and they come close to the family.
Hmm.
Somehow, maybe they try to remind the family that they are still there.
Yes, their crossover remains incomplete, perhaps.
Yes, yes. So, with these little incidents, we feel that they are still there, they are with us, and somehow they are following us here and there.
But they are like our guardian angels in some way.
Yes, yes, sure. And we need not be scared of them. Rather, we should try to talk to them. I try to talk to my uncle, even in my, in my dreams. And I try to convince myself that if you have something to say, please say it in my dream so that we can do that particular thing for you.
Right.
This is what I feel. And this is
Yes.
not the only death that I have seen in the family. I have seen many other deaths in the family, and we have had many other similar experiences. So
Ranjana, if you ever would like to come back to share such more experiences, we'll be more than happy to welcome you back. But thank you, my friend, for sharing this particular experience, which was so much part of my life too, when I was in school with you. Thank you so much
definitely.
for sharing your experience.
Thank
And
you, Ghost Incorporated. Thank you so much.
thank you, listeners and viewers. I hope you have enjoyed listening to Ranjana share her experience, of which I was a very little part. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Stay connected.